welcome back to the channel. Hope you all are doing good. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jessica. I'm a woman in long-term recovery after 14 years of active addiction. And on this channel, we talk about active use, harm reduction, different pathways of recovery, and all this stuff in between, mental health, and, pretty much anything you can think of that has to, or that would fall under any of those categories. Today, I want to talk to you guys, and I'm going to be completely upfront and honest with you. This video is kind of on the fly because I wanted to get what little bit of information I have out there so the people that need it can see it, and to let you guys know that I'm going to be digging a little bit deeper and trying to find more if I can. I had a person reach out to me and ask for help or suggestions or, anything along those lines, because this person is in recovery also, and he is also someone who takes Adderall every day. And if you didn't know, there is a nationwide shortage of Adderall. People are running out of their medicine, and their pharmacies are like, it's on back order and there's nothing we can do to help you. That's a big friggin' problem. That's a big freaking problem for a lot of reasons. For people in recovery, for people not in recovery, for people that have never, struggled with substance use disorder at all in their life. This is a big problem, and it's already affecting people. But if it continues, it's going to be an even bigger problem. And that's why I wanted to come on and talk to you guys today, because if this medication isn't available, it can send a lot of people back to a relapse. A lot of times people that suffer from ADD or ADHD and they have gone a long time in their life and they're undiagnosed, if they do get to a point in their lives where they're out on the street and they're looking for something to help them, or whatever the case may be, however they wind up using methamphetamine, a lot of people are out there using that because they're undiagnosed. And I'm speaking in broad terms here because it's, like I said, this is an unplanned video, number one, but also because it's just, I can't, there's no way that I could possibly say this one situation is going to fit everybody that's in recovery, this one situation is going to fit everybody that's still in active use, and then this one situation is going to fit everybody that, has never used before. So I'm going to speak in broad terms. Just keep that in the back of your mind. This can have a lot of really bad implications, because if you have ADHD or ADD and you take something that is supposed to speed you up, it will act as the reverse. So if you have ADD or ADHD and you go out on the streets and you do meth, it's going to act as Adderall would in your body. So that's a potential cause, or, a trigger for a relapse that the DEA and our government and the pharmaceutical companies either aren't thinking about or they don't care about. As much as you see the news about the quote-unquote drug war that is going on, you would think that the DEA and people that directly influence these types of things would be like, okay, we need to do something else because what we're doing now isn't working. But unfortunately, that is not the case. And from what I can tell, the DEA is preventing one of the main companies, I'm probably going to say it wrong, but I'll put it up here on the screen for you guys. Teva, it's Teva. They're prohibiting them from making more of the generic of Adderall to supply the pharmacies that are saying, hey, we have a backlog of this. That really grinds my gears because this is so dangerous, and it's people going, without their medication. And to me, that just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense for one of our government agencies that's supposed to be here to help us to prevent the manufacturing of a safe supply, because essentially that's what Adderall is. It's safe supply. You know that if you have ADD or ADHD, you go to your doctor, you get your diagnosis, and he gives you a prescription. He or she gives you a prescription for Adderall. You know that when you go to the pharmacy and you fill that prescription, that's not like you're out here buying something off the street. You know who's manufactured it. That's a safe supply. So you know that when you go home and take your medicine, that it's okay, that you're not going to have to worry about taking that medicine and it have fentanyl in it, or, be cut with some crazy chemical that does crazy things to your body and just makes your life that much more harder to live than what it may already be. So big, huge problems with this. Another thing that it's a big, huge problem for is because people have to figure out a way to continue living their lives without this medicine. because not everybody out here can afford the brand name. Because from what I can tell, if you can pay for the brand name, then you're all good to go. And all that boils down to is money. That's just money. And you're putting people's lives online and destroying their mental health and their quality of life for a couple bucks just pisses me off so much. It pisses me off so much. So one of the questions that my friend asked me in the email when we were talking was, can you give me any suggestions on how I go through my day without this medicine that I need? How do I, go to school? How do I go to work? Because when you have ADD or you have ADHD, it's so hard for you to stay focused on a task from start to finish. When people go to work, they have things that they have to do. Obviously, you're there, you get paid to do a job. I can't really think of many jobs that you go to where you can just do one thing at a time, because a lot of times when people go to work, there is minimum 5 other things going on around you. And for someone that has ADHD, that's a lot. That's a lot to process. That's a lot to keep your mind on track and to get your tasks done. And that's just the work side of it, right? So if you go into work, just imagine going into work, you know that you have this project that has to be done today, right? So when you're going into work, that's what's on your mind. When you go into work, you sit down at your desk, you start working on the project, then the phone rings, an email comes in, your boss comes over to talk to you, one of your coworkers comes over to talk to you, your boss adds something else that you need to do. Like I said, that's 5 that I can think of right off the bat, just off the top of my head, things that are normal circumstances for anybody. And even if you're not working in an office, let's say you work at, a coffee shop. So that's a lot of tasks that you have to do during the day. That's a lot that your brain has to process and get you through from start to finish in a very quick environment. So these people out here that have got a diagnosis and that are taking this medicine, if they're running out of their medicine, we have people out here that are like, how am I supposed to live my life? That has the biggest ripple effect ever. The DEA doesn't care about that. The pharmaceutical companies don't care about that. That has such a ripple effect because if you go to work and can't do your job, do you think your boss is just going to let you stay there? If you're enrolled in school and you can't turn in your assignments on time, or you can't do your assignments, or you can't stay, on task while you're in a lecture or in a classroom, what's going to happen? It has a ripple effect. And not to sound crude, but shit rolls downhill. And the more it rolls, the bigger it gets. It's just like a snowball. It has a snowball effect. And one of the things that people that are in recovery, one of the things that we have to watch out for all the time is letting things in our life snowball into something bigger. So it starts with something little, and either we can't deal with it, or we don't know a way to deal with it, or we just mentally cannot deal with it. Then that one thing starts to roll, and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then as it's getting bigger, it's grabbing more things and pulling things in with it from the sides until it's this massive ball of chaos that you cannot control. And you find yourself down at the bottom. That right there can send you back to a relapse really quickly. Am I saying that's going to happen every time? No. But there are people out there that that's going to happen to. So cutting this medicine off or having a backlog of it is going to cause such detrimental effects to people's lives that it's not even funny. So I would ask you guys if, there's any of you out there, and of course, only to your level of comfortableness, if you are going through the same thing, or if you have ADD and you have tips and tricks that have helped you, get through a time when you didn't have any medicine, or if you do have this and for whatever reason you don't take medicine for it, please, 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 I'm begging you, please leave them in the comments below for people to see. Because ADD and ADHD are common disorders to have. My daughter has ADD. I'm pretty sure I have a version of it. My little brother has ADHD. And all his life, not all his life, but up until he was in high school, he took medicine for it. He doesn't take medicine for it now. He chose to stop taking medicine for it because if you take any type of medicine for ADD or ADHD, they will not allow you in the military. And my little brother is a Marine. But there's a lot of people out there that, don't have that luxury. They can't stop taking their medicine. If you have ADD or ADHD, it could just be crippling mentally. If your mind is racing that much every day and you have that much trouble staying on task and, getting your concentration to cooperate with you, for lack of a better way of saying it. I can't imagine being able to have this medicine and taking it every day and getting such relief and seeing the benefits in your life and then having that option taken away from you. To me, it just blows my mind. Blows my mind that they would let something like this happen. So I'm asking, I wanted to come on here and make this video for a couple of reasons. One, I wanted to let you guys know, because I'm sure out of the 250 some subscribers that I have, there are some of you out there that have ADD or have ADHD, and you may need to know about this. And if it's not, if in your area it's not a problem, then I'm so glad to hear that. I hope that I hear more of that than the opposite. But if you haven't heard about it, I don't like to catch people unawares. If you're going to pick up your refill and then with no advance warning at all, your pharmacist just tells you that's on back order. I mean, it's not like a toy at Christmas that you can just tell your kid or your significant other or whoever, it's on back order. It'll get here eventually. That's not the way it works with pharmaceuticals. So we have to find a way to help these people so they can keep their quality of life and so they can keep moving forward and do the things that they want to do, because I don't care who you are. Everybody deserves to have a good quality of life. And yes, some of us have to take medicine to have quality of life, and we have to take it every day. And unfortunately, price and availability are two of the biggest things that affect that. It may be bias on my part because I am a person that's in recovery and I've seen it personally, and I see it with people that I work with every day. I read it in emails that people send me every day. I see this all the time. But people that are in recovery, we are the ones that bear the brunt of this most often. Maintenance clinics are few and far in between. If you can get to one, then there's travel, getting there. The outrageous hours that most maintenance clinics have, the price of methadone, Suboxone, Vivitrol. There's so many barriers to treatment. And this is just another limb of that, because that's what this is. I know so many people that are in recovery that after they got in recovery and started going to a doctor and, saying, well, this is how my body and my brain works every day. I know so many people that have been diagnosed with ADD or ADHD once they got into recovery. I know so many people that are still in active use that are diagnosed with one or the other. So that's what I mean when I say this is just another leg of it. And I know that people all over the world have trouble paying for their medicines. I know it happens with cancer. I know it happens with EpiPens. I know it happens with diabetes. But people are like, oh, you give away Narcan for free. Why don't you pay for my EpiPen? Why don't you pay for, my insulin? Why don't you pay for my cancer treatment? Stuff like that. So I get that. But I also know that you can't compare apples to oranges. And that's what you're trying to do. And really the question that we should be asking, instead of, well, if this is free, why isn't this free, is why is there such a barrier between people and medications and treatment that they need? That's the question that we should be asking. I could talk about that for like a whole ass video, but beside wanting to bring this to you guys' attention, I also wanted to just come on and ask for suggestions and help, and to give you the few that I have. Some of these are probably common sense suggestions. The first one I'm going to give you is a common sense one that I did not get, and then someone said it to me, and I was like, why didn't I think of that? But if you go to your regular pharmacy and they tell you that it is on back order, ask them to call other branches of their pharmacy for you. If they do have it there, they can ship it from one location to another. And I know that going without your medicine for any length of time is going to be horrible and anxiety driven, but at least that way you would know, hey, it's coming. You can always tell them, okay, can I just go there to your other location and pick it up? Another thing you can do is you can always go to a different pharmacy altogether. Like if you normally get your prescriptions filled at a Walgreens, try CVS. Big time thing, and I know this for like helping people get their Suboxone prescriptions filled, is if you go to like a mom and pop instead of this big brand name, don't go to Walgreens, don't go to CVS, don't pharmacy in your hometown that is, family owned and operated, because a lot of times, number one, they're a lot easier to deal with, and they care more, honestly, about their customers than they do about other things that they probably shouldn't care about, being that they're a pharmacy. So those are two of the easiest suggestions. Another thing is to download any apps like goodrx.com. A lot of times those places will have like coupons or, discounts, anything like that. And Google is everybody's best friend these days. So you can always go on and put in the name of your medicine and search for discounts or coupons. You can also ask your pharmacist if they have any coupons, because in my experience, pharmacists get visited by drug reps, just like your doctor does. And those drug reps will offer them coupons. And I feel like this, is widely known after the whole Purdue thing, because Purdue Pharma did that with OxyContin for pretty much every doctor they ever came into contact with. But that's not a new thing. That's not something that Purdue invented on their own. Ask your doctor if they have any free samples, if they have coupons, if they can give you a discount, anything like that. Because if they have it, they should be sharing it with you. And I feel like some people don't know that those are things that doctors have and pharmacists have, and they are supposed to be sharing it with the general public. Unfortunately, I wish that I had a whole video's worth of tips to help you guys out with this, because I'm really worried about this. If any of you guys are out there struggling, and if there's anything at all I can do for you, even if you just, need to rant, you guys, I leave my email in the description of every single video I put up, whether it's a live, whether it's a video like this, whether it's a short. They're in every single one. So if you ever need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, okay? Because I'm really worried that a lot of people are going to struggle with a relapse. This continues to happen, and if it continues to just grow worse and worse and worse. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you guys know of any other suggestions or any tips, anything like that you can leave to help other people, please leave them in the comments below. That is it for today's video, you guys. As I learn more about this situation, I will definitely come back on here and let you guys know. As usual, you know the drill. If you need naloxone, Narcan, or if you need to be trained in how to administer it, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you need anything else, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other.